So Abraham lost his wife, his son is married, the son he ignores is married too, and you might be wondering, has he reached the end of his arc? The answer is, not just yet. Before he kicks the bucket, he gets himself another woman, likely another slave. Her name is Keturah, and he has the following sons with her: Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. And because the author is an absolute sucker for genealogy, I can also tell you that Midian will become the father of Eva, Hanok, Abida, and Elda, while Jokshan will become the father of Sheba and Dedan's descendants will become the Asherites, the Ladishites, and the Leamites. Abraham keeps all the sons he has with Keturah away from Isaac by sending them to the land of the east. Apparently he does send them gifts, but that's about it. And when he finally dies at the age of 175, Isaac inherits absolutely everything. Interestingly, despite the fact that Abraham also raped his mom and abandoned him as a child, his first son, Ishmael, still shows up to bury him. And of course, Isaac has an even more traumatic memory of his dad literally trying to murder him. But he's there as well. Together, they bury Abraham in the Machpelah cave, next to Sarah. Looking back, I think Abraham's biggest accomplishment was being a garbage human in so many different ways. Like, he didn't just own slaves, he also raped them. He didn't just mistreat his children, he also mutilated them. And he didn't just exploit animals, he also murdered them. Nothing was too cruel for this guy. Not even 400 years of slavery for his own descendants. And now that he's dead, we gotta start preparing ourselves for that shit show. God immediately starts laying the groundwork by only blessing Isaac and not Ishmael. But at this point, who can even tell if that's good or bad news for Isaac? It definitely means that Ishmael is not a main character though, so the rest of his life and legacy gets covered in a single paragraph. He has 12 sons: Nebaioth, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedima. And he dies when he's 137. His sons live between Havilah and Shur near Egypt, but they all form their own tribes and just fight each other all the time. Now, back to the main storyline. Isaac was apparently 40 when he married Rebekah, but we don't know Rebekah's age. The author is too busy telling us that her dad and brother are Arameans because they live in a place called Padan Aram. Now, what's hilarious is that despite God's complete obsession with keeping this bloodline going, Rebekah is infertile too. Oops! But luckily for any nearby slave women, he's quicker to correct his mistake this time. But oh no, what's that? He overcorrects! Rebekah goes from being infertile to getting pregnant with twins. 2 boys. And obviously there's nothing wrong with twins. But these twins are fighting each other before they're even born. I'm talking WWE here. Womb wrestling embryos. Naturally, Rebekah asks God, what the fuck is going on? And God says, oh, don't worry about it. They're just fighting for dominance. They're gonna found 2 nations later and the younger one will dominate the older one. Obviously, younger is a relative term here. They're twins. It just means that the dominant one is gonna exit the womb 2 minutes later. When Rebekah gives birth, the first baby to come out is kinda funky looking. His body is red and hairy. So, I don't know what's up with that, but they just roll with it and call him Esau, which literally means hairy. And I strongly suspect that this birth happened mid-fight, because the second baby to come out is actually holding on to the foot of the first one. Like, what a power move! He doesn't even pause the fight for his own birth. This little dude gets named Jacob. Isaac is 60 at this point, and Rebekah's age is still unknown. Growing up, Esau acts like a textbook insecure guy who kills a lot of animals for no reason. Isaac eats Esau's victims, so he encourages this disturbing habit, while Jacob, on the other hand, is more reserved and much more secure in his masculinity. So he doesn't do that shit, and Rebekah recognizes him as the better man. And I know, parents shouldn't have favorites, but I think we can all see where Rebekah is coming from. The problem is, however, that they apparently live by this dumbass rule that states that the first son has the birthright. Which basically means that you become the leader of the family when your dad dies. So Esau has this coveted birthright and Jacob's gotta find a way to take it from him. And he comes up with this absolutely brilliant plan. He bakes some bread and cooks red lentil soup. Now, I don't know if you've ever had red lentil soup, but it's very good and you should totally try it. Anyway, while he's doing this, Esau comes home. And Esau is hungry as a motherfucker. So he asks Jacob to give him some of that bread and lentil soup. And Jacob looks him dead in the eye and says, "Sure, brother, you can have some bread and lentil soup in return for your birthright." Once again, an absolute power move by our man Jacob here. And Esau is like, "Well, fuck. I'm starving and I can't eat my damn birthright. So, okay, you win." And Jacob says, "Swear it." "I swear that my birthright is yours if you give me some bread and lentil soup." "Good, here you go. Enjoy your meal."